Greetings, back again here, and for this video I wanted to show you some different variations of the NES, and in particular those released in Europe. There were a few different variations or different models of the NES released. They all look pretty much the same, but there are a few differences. So I have a few of them here, and this one here, now this is a North American NES, and I use this to play my NTSC games. So nothing much to say about this, it's your standard American NES. Now the one underneath here, this is the Scandinavian model, and this was actually the first one to be released in Europe as far as I know, and it's basically the same as the American one, with the exception of this being PAL instead of NTSC. So it looks the same, only difference is it has a European version written on the front hatch here. Uses the same controllers, has pretty much the same outputs here. Got the composite video and the audio on the side here, using standard RCA plugs. And on the back we have the RF out, the channel selection, and the power input. So comparing this to the American one, I can see that it looks the same, and the plug here for the power supply is the same size. So I have, this is the power supply for the Scandinavian NES. So take the plug here. Of course it fits in this one, and it also fits the American one. So I'm actually running my American NES with the Scandinavian power supply. Now these ones here, this one is the Spanish version, and if we look on the front here, it says version Española and Spanish version underneath. And again, it looks more or less the same as these two, except for the writing here. On the side we have the same composite video and audio out, and on the back we have the RF out, channel selection, and the power plug for the power supply. Now here we have a difference. If I can put this on top here, as you can see, this plug here is blue, and this has a different size. So if I try to take this power supply that I use for these two systems, it won't fit in there. It's actually too small. So I have another power supply here. Looks the same, has the same voltage and amps and all that, but the plug is a bit different. So if you take this, you can see that this fits in there, and I don't think, yeah, it fits actually these two as well, because this is a bit bigger. But as I said, same voltage and everything, so the only difference is the size of the plug itself. Another difference is that the controllers for this got the same plug for the controllers, and the controllers look exactly the same, but they are a bit different on the inside, and you can tell the difference between the controllers for these systems and the controllers for this system. And you can do that by looking at the back of the controller. On the controllers for this you have a model number, which is NES 004, while the controller for this one is NES 004E, and the E I think stands for Europe. Now the controller for this one will work on these two, but the controllers for these two will not work on this unless you modify the controller ports, which is really very simple to do, and I will probably make a video showing how to do that. But unless you modify the controller ports, the controllers from these two will not work on the Spanish version. And now there's also a German version of the NES, and I actually don't have, well, I have parts of one here, so this has been taken apart here, but it's basically the same as the Spanish one, except it doesn't have the Española written on the front here. I think it has the same as the Scandinavian one, so it says European version. But other than that, it's the same. Got the same problem with the controller ports. You have to use the NES 004E controllers, and well, we have the same outputs here, and the same on the back here, and this also uses the slightly larger plug for the power supply. So the German version and the Spanish version are pretty much identical. Now, the next one I have here, this one is a French version, and if you look on the front here, it looks the same as on the American one. Doesn't say European version or French version or anything here, it just says Nintendo Entertainment System. And I'm not quite sure, because I haven't tested this, but I think it uses the same controllers as the Spanish and the German one. But there's another big difference here, and the reason I haven't tested this, if you look on the side here, you can see with that we have no composite outputs, and if you look on the back, you have the same plug for the power supply, the larger one, same as on the German and Spanish, but then we have this output here. You don't have the RF, but instead you have this proprietary plug here, and it's hard to tell here, but it says RGB audio output, and this outputs RGB, sort of. The signal coming out of this is divided into red, green and blue, but what they did here is they took the composite signal that you get from the other NESs, and that gets converted into RGB. So it's not true RGB, it's just a converted composite signal. So you don't get a perfect picture like you would if it was really RGB. But yeah, you have this plug here, and I don't have the cable for this, so that's why I haven't tested this. I could only test it to see if it powered on, but since I don't have the AV cables, I can't see if I get any picture. But yeah, it has this plug on the end, and on the other end of the cable there's a SCART connector. And at first I thought this was the same as the one you find on the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo 64, but this is actually a smaller plug, so I can't use that cable either. But yeah, this is the French version. Other than that, plays the same games, and actually, if we take a quick look on the bottom of these here, you have these different stickers here depending on which model it is. So this is on the French one, and there are different codes on these. The French ones are coded FRA, I mean, and the Spanish one, you can see you got some different stickers here, and the code on this is ESP, and the German ones have a few different codes depending on when it was released. This one has NOE. Can't remember what the other codes on those are. I think there's FAH, but I'm not 100% sure. And well, this is the American one, and on the Scandinavian one here you got SCN, and you will find these codes on most of the games as well, so you can see from which region the games came from. Now, the games, as I said, for these systems are basically the same. Only difference is the codes on them, depending on where they were released. And there are a few games that were translated. So there are some games that are in German, some that are in French, some that are in Spanish, and there's also a few games that are in Swedish. I think there's 3 or 4 of them. Now, there are a few more variations of the NES released in Europe that I don't have. I think there was an Italian one, and I know there was at least 2 different systems released in Britain. Now, the thing about those systems are that the games for them do not work on these European systems, even though they are all PAL. They're all PAL systems. But for some reason Nintendo decided to divide Europe into PAL A and PAL B. And these ones are PAL B, and the British ones I know are PAL A. So unless you disable the lockout chip, you cannot play PAL A games on PAL B systems. I have no idea why they did that. It seems just stupid. And when they released the Super Nintendo, they removed that limitation. So those games are basically the same. They just use different lockouts. So if you disable the lockout chip on these NESs, the games will play fine. But yeah, I don't know, there may have been a few more variations of the system, but these are the ones that I have and the ones I know about. And yeah, that's really all I wanted to show you here. Just a quick look at the different European NES systems. So bye for now, and I'll see you soon.